Well, all right, another week closer to turkey season. Here I am again.
And if nothing else, we're close to the NWTF.
Even closer to that. That's right. But
yeah,
here I am sitting in the studio by myself, looking at the lake. I've got my green light down there working, waiting on the rain to come. It's supposed to be here sometime other than that. But you're still in Tennessee doing your thing.
It's raining here. Yeah, and it's raining
That's
here.
better than snow.
Yes, a lot better.
Well,
it's been nice. I haven't had to wear thermals in 3 days. It's been great.
It was nearly 70 here today.
Wow.
I felt
didn't
like
get that warm, but
I told them girls at work I might go home and go swimming. Of course, they knew better than that. But anyway, we ain't gonna dilly dally around too much. We got us a true turkey killer on the line. Some of you might have heard of him. Some of you might not have. Some may have heard of his son, seen a little old YouTube clip of him. But I guess that was at the turkey convention one year. But we got Wes Brewer over in Mississippi. He'll tell us where he's from over Mississippi. But you on the line here with us, Wes?
Yes, sir. How y'all?
We doing good. I'm doing good.
Doing good. Yes.
So
yes, sir.
We met you really by accident in the wee late night hours. You come pulling in down in what's it called again? Alachua? Alachua, yeah. Florida.
That's right.
You and Mac, I think. I probably 11:30 at night. Y'all come rolling in.
I tell you what, I didn't think it was as far from Mississippi as it was down there.
Ooh, it's a long ride from my house. And
it's a good little haul.
But
it is.
We
were. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying we've been lucky running into some real good people and turkey killers too.
Man, I have met lifelong friends and lifelong enemies turkey hunting.
It's an amazing sport. I call it a sport. I don't know if it's really a sport. Lifestyle. It's a lot. I mean, that's all I think about. I mean, I'm not
It's definitely a lifestyle for sure. You talk to a turkey hunter, most of them click because they're all a little crazy and half asleep. And
I think that's where the crazy comes in, that lack of sleep.
That's right. I tell you what, I average about 13 to 15 miles a hunt in the season, depending on the state. But Mississippi, I hunt a lot of public ground, and I hunt 90% of what I hunt anywhere is public. But just Mississippi's kind of flat, rolling hills, just like Alabama for the most part. But
you
public ground turkeys.
You need to come try the Bankhead Forest out if you think it's all flat rolling. Shouldn't he, Dustin?
I ran into some of them hills over at Talladega last year, and
there's some big ones over there on that part of the forest too. Yeah, you're right.
I got buddies that hunt there, and they take their lunch in with them when they get down them bottoms. They don't come out until to the end of the hunt, whether they kill or it's evening or whatever. They said, it's pretty steep in some of them places in Talladega too.
Man, I tell you what, South Dakota humbled me as far as elevation and hills. I thought I had hunted some pretty good hills until I hunted there. And I tell you what, I stepped out of the truck at about 9,600 feet, and I walked 100 yards and felt like I'd run a marathon.
You needed to got you one of them cans of oxygen put in that pack.
Man, I needed something.
Now we're up in there, and I know we're jumping ahead of things, but you brought it up. What part of South Dakota? What town was you close to up in there?
I hunted. The first time I ever went was the Black Hills.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Which covers, I forget how many acres it is.
It's a lot.
You can ride for days, but I guess that was it was pre-COVID. Well, pre-COVID, 2015, I guess, somewhere around in there.
Well,
and man, I tell you what, they put a whooping on me for about 2 days, and finally I found them and figured out what was going on and how they were kind of hybrid Merriam Rios that I've run into. Now there are true Merriams there, but I ran into a group of hybrids. But I was so glad to kill one and get on back. I just, man.
Well,
They
ain't gonna.
They taught me a valuable lesson.
I can't say nothing. I killed one in about 20 minutes after I got out of the truck. Now Dustin had a whole different story for him, but I was one of them. I ain't one of them guys that said, it's the first part of the hunt. I got 3 days, 4 days up here, a week or whatever. He gobbles. He's in front of me. He's gonna get shot, and that's what happened.
Oh, it ain't no doubt.
I crossed a cow pasture and down on the hill toward a little valley, and I don't know if he answered the call or just courtesy gobbled out of his own, but hey, 20 minutes later, we was back at the truck. I was ready to go. Now, poor Dustin had to hunt in the downpour and icy cold rain for a whole nother day before he got one.
So y'all were up there, I think. Me and my wife and my son were up there at the same time.
We were trying to catch up.
You got cut short, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to cut it short. My wife's grandmother, she got ill, and we had to come home.
That's what I thought, because we was going to try to kind of meet up with you guys or something, and it just didn't work out. Y'all had to pull out a little bit early.
Yeah, we had been out that way for about 12 days, but her grandmother, well, she's 87 now. She would have been 85 then. She fell, and my wife's a nurse, and she wanted her to take care of her, so we just decided to come on back. And we were about 28 hours from the house, I think. So I said, well, we only had about 3 more days to hunt anyway, so it ain't going to hurt me. I had killed in South Dakota before. I was really just trying to get back a bird there. And I said, well, we just have to come back. And we actually went back last year, and we both killed one in South Dakota and North Dakota.
I haven't been to North Dakota yet, so.
I'm going to tell you what. I don't ever want to go back if I don't have to, but I have to because Mac didn't kill one in North Dakota.
Well, I'll tell you what, I like South Dakota so good. Me and my wife vacationed up there this fall. We was up there in September. And
it's beautiful. It's one of the prettiest states. I mean, I say states. The Grand Rapids area and Black Hills, man, is some of the prettiest place. That's one of the prettiest places I've ever been. I've been a bunch of them.
And that's where we hunted. Pretty. That's where we hunted, and matter of fact, we stayed in the same lodge. Me and my wife stayed there. We did all the touristy things, seeing Mount Rushmore. She had never been up there. Me and Dustin, we did the dime tour. We had an extra day before we had to take off, so we kind of went and seen all the sites. But me and her did that, and then we spent the rest of, and which shocked me, she fell in love with it. We spent the rest of the time in the Black Hills and Custer State Park. My goal was to find a herd of elk. I wanted to hear them bugle. I'd never heard them bugle. I've never elk hunted other than seeing it on TV or a video. And the last day before we flew up there this summer or fall, but before we had to leave, we found them. Whole herd of them. I got to watch them bugle and chase, and it was something else. I told her, I said, I could die. I could die a happy man. The only better way would be holding a turkey, I guess. And I was dropping pins everywhere I saw a turkey. I dropped a pin. And she said, "Why are you dropping pins? You're in Custer State Park." I said, "I don't care. I'm going to drop a pin. I seen them." So she was after prairie dogs, and I was after turkeys.
And ain't nothing wrong with that.
No. So, well, tell us a little. I don't know. You probably more famous than most people. I know people know who you are. They ain't no telling how many turkeys you've killed in your life. But tell us a little bit about you. I mean, you grow up there in Mississippi?
Yes, sir. I was born in Clarksdale, Mississippi, which is a little Delta town, home of the blues. I know y'all have heard of the Crossroads, which is in Clarksdale.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Eureka, Mississippi, which is in Panola County.
Yep, I've been through
I
Eureka.
did not grow up turkey hunting. I did not. A lot of people don't believe that, but we didn't have turkeys. First turkey I seen in Panola County was probably the mid to early 90s. And I mean, I knew people that did turkey hunt. You know, they would go over towards Holly Springs on the other side of Oxford, Mississippi, towards Alabama, actually. And that's where they would go to turkey hunt. I just never, it never did pique my interest. I deer hunted, rabbit hunted, squirrel hunted, dove hunted. I mean, I hunted everything I could, but we just didn't have turkeys.
Well,
and
same for me.
A buddy of mine. What's that?
I said it's same for me. Same thing. We didn't have deer to hunt. Really? When I was growing up. Of course, I'm a little bit older.
Well,
now.
That's a funny story, too. We didn't have a lot of deer. So when I first started hunting, you had 1 day a season you could kill a doe, and it was called Doe Day. And then you could kill any legal buck, but, if it had a horn, it was legal, but you could only kill one. So you could kill 2 deer a year. And then, it was like an explosion happened, and we got more deer now, I think, per square mile than any other state.
Well, did I hear right? They've extended y'all's deer season this year because y'all didn't kill enough, or they don't think you've killed enough?
They did extend it until February the 2nd. I believe that's right. But yes, they did extend it.
Yeah, I listened to...
I hadn't killed a deer this year. I bow hunt a lot. I could have... Now, don't take this the wrong way. I could have killed more than one. I'm picky in my old age, and I'm more horn hunting than I am meat hunting.
Okay.
Now, I mean, I'll kill a couple of does I just didn't need the meat. I mean, if I don't need it, I'm not going to kill it. I mean, I passed up some good deer. They probably got shot, but I let them go. So I done my job.
Yeah.
I hear all the time guys say, well, I let him go and my neighbors kill him. Well, if you shoot him, he's dead. So.
Yeah, that's right. And he ain't going to get no bigger, is he?
He ain't going to do no good if you shoot him. And, and the way I see it, maybe your neighbor's got a kid. Maybe they shot it. Or, it really don't matter. It's not my deer. It don't have a tag on it. But I let it go. I want to kill bigger deer. So the only way for me to do that is let the deer go. I mean, that's just the way I see it. And I have killed some big deer. So, I mean, I don't. Like I said, I deer hunted way, way, way more than I had turkey hunted up until the past. I guess I really started turkey hunting when I was about 23,
so
24.
How old are you now?
I'll be 43 years young, April 2nd.
Yeah.
I'm 2 months older than you.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm the dang old man in the room.
Man,
no, I take that back. I'll be 44 my birthday, February 21st. So, yeah, I'm a year older than you now.
44.
Yep. I'll be 44.
Okay. Yeah, you're a year.
I didn't think we'd ever make it to this age, or I would.
You said February what?
21st.
My wife's birthday is February 21st.
I'm an 81 model.
My wife's an 83 model. I'm 82.
God almighty, I graduated high school in 83.
Well, my mama graduated in 81.
Dog. Yeah. Yeah.
Really? How many days?
Yeah.
So what caused you to get bit by the turkey bug?
Man, one good friend of mine that lives here in Panola County called me one day and he's like, man, you want to go turkey hunting? And I was like, no, I ain't going out there waste no time. I had never even heard of turkey gobble really, except other on TV. I watched on TV. I love to watch hunting, so I always watched turkey hunting on TV. And just one day he convinced me. He's like, man, if you ever go, you'll leave him stinking deer alone. And he was a turkey hunter.
Yep.
They would go all over these core properties and WMAs, and they knew where the turkeys were. And the properties I hunted, turkeys were spotty. They were they were getting around, being around Panola County at this time, but they were real spotty. You either had them or you didn't. And the properties that I hunted just didn't have turkeys, so I'd never really, I'd never seen a turkey strut or heard one gobble other than on TV, and never had one right in front of me. And one morning I went with him, and man, we were sitting there, and them turkeys went to gobbling. And I think we heard 3 or 4, and that was a real good morning, to him.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I had no idea at the time if he heard one. I didn't even know how to call. I ain't never done nothing. I was green as a blade of grass in spring, but we went, and I actually killed a turkey, the first turkey hunt I ever really went on. And I didn't do no calling, but my buddy did. I was like, well, that was pretty fun. Because I got to see the interaction between the call and the gobbler.
Yep.
I knew when he called, that turkey was answering that call.
That's what
it wasn't. It was no hens around, so I knew.
Yep.
In my mind, I'm like, man, he's talking to that turkey.
Yep. That's what hooked me.
I had the sense about me of how it worked, and I was like, well, dang, I want to do that. So, man, I'm not a nerd by any means, but I want to learn the animal that I kill or I'm hunting. So I just started watching every kind of video, calling videos. I'm a humongous fan of Eddie Salter. I mean, to me, that was my Dave Owens of that time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's still that way.
My little boy is infatuated with Dave Owens. And don't get me wrong, that fella, if he was hunting a turkey that I was trying to kill, I'd just hang my hat up. But Eddie Salter, to me, was that way. And, I mean, just the first fella I ever just seen flat out just could do it.
Yep, he was my turkey hunting hero.
I started reading magazines, and just like anybody else, I would hope, try to learn everything I could in the, shortest amount of time. I had a year, in my mind to get where I thought I could call a turkey, because I knew that next season was coming around. And luckily for me, at the time I started turkey hunting, the turkeys exploded, which was early 2000s. And I mean, I don't know if y'all fellas was hunting then, but I don't know if we'll ever see that again.
No, I call that that's the golden age right there. I
hadn't seen it.
That is when I would say I really got into it. I started me and my brother played around turkey hunting probably in the early mid 90s. I was probably in my, mid 20s before I started turkey hunting, but I got in a club down in Barber County, which is not too far from really where you hunted this past year in Alabama. And I was like you, I didn't know, I heard 18 turkeys gobble one morning. I didn't know that was unusual. I mean, that place was covered up. If I just knew how to turkey hunt, I would have killed turkeys. Right now, I learned a lot in them couple of years I had that property to hunt. But yeah, that's when I called it the golden age. I mean, all the way up around 2010, 11.
Probably 2012.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yep.
And
I started seeing it kind of fall off right in there, somewhere in there. Now, out of state, Kansas, Missouri, that area probably didn't fall off as bad until, I'm going to say 18, 19, 20. 18, 19, 20. Because I never really, I traveled to deer hunt, though. I'd go to Illinois, Missouri, deer hunt. I've hunted Ohio deer, just never traveled to turkey hunt. And then probably 2010, 11, 12, somewhere right in there, I was like, heck, I got a lease up here. Why don't I just turkey hunt it too? I mean, I already got the license. All I got to buy is turkey tag.
Yep.
And the first out-of-state turkey I killed was in Missouri. And it was like the easiest thing I ever done in my life. I was like, man, if turkey hunting in Mississippi was like this, I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, I think I called 3 times and he was in my lap. I said, what? And it happens like that every now and then. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it'll spoil you sometimes. You get 1 or 2 that act right, and it's just like some of them want to die. I don't know how to explain it no better than that, but
yeah, you'll get one or two of them easy ones and start thinking, "Damn, I'm a dang good turkey hunter." Then you'll get humbled.
Oh yeah,
the next day or next week you're humbled. Next season you might not,
Oh, it ain't no doubt. I got a feeling this year is going to be a tough one for me because last year was just unbelievable for me.
Well, tell us about your hunting last year. Where all did you go? What all did you kill?
Whew. I hunted Alabama. I hunted South Dakota, North Dakota, Indiana. I hunted Illinois, and I hunted Michigan all last year.
All public?
All public.
For the most part?
Yep. All public except Illinois.
Except Illinois.
I had a deer lease in Illinois, and I went up there and actually hunted my lease. It was about, I think I had 120 acres.
Mm-hmm.
I did not lease this year in Illinois, first year since 2010. I didn't lease ground in Illinois to bow hunt. I was saving my vacation for turkey season. That's why.
Yeah.
Because I do line work. I'm a lineman for the local power company here, so I get pretty good, vacation days. I think I get 15 a year, and I can roll them over, whatever. So I rolled a couple over, and I usually take about 10 days actually, but the way I plan it out, I can hunt about 15 to 16 days in a row. And I've been doing that since Mac was 7 really. And that's what started that, because he could get out of school. It was usually about spring break that time, and I'd just plan it out. And then COVID hit. I guess he was 8 when that happened. So he was out of school, and man, we just went wild that year. We went everywhere. We went every which way but loose. I can't remember how many states we went to that year, but it was a bunch, probably 7, maybe 8. And I was having to work a day, off a day, work a day, off a day. So at that time, I could take 2 days vacation and be off 7 days because I worked 4/10.
Right.
So I'd take 2 days vacation. We'd be off. I'd go hunting for 7 days. And, I may hit Missouri, Kansas, and Illinois, and Ohio, or wherever, and come on back home and then do it again in 2 more weeks. We did that, I know, twice. But he homeschools now. So turkey season's just he'll get 2 weeks ahead on his school at home, and then he can go turkey hunting.
That'll make you more study.
I kind of wondered how you guys were able to travel like you do, or with him,
That's
that
right.
Works out good.
Well, he actually went to a private school here, close here in Senatobia. It was Magnolia Heights to be. That's what the name of the school is. Great school. But I have 2 daughters also, and they have always homeschooled. So when COVID hit, just he fell right into that homeschool and liked it, and liked being able to go turkey hunting with me when he could. Knew I was leaving to go turkey hunting, and he was like, "Man, I want to go." And I was like, "I don't care if he goes." I was like, "That's between you and your mama." She was like, "Well, if he does just go, I don't mind if he goes." So now, come March, he'll go ahead and double up every day. He'll do 2 days of school. So.
Heck yeah.
As long as he keeps his grades up and he's doing good, and that's between him and his mom, I'll let her handle that. Now, if he starts getting bad grades or something, the turkey hunting stops.
Yep.
So I think that's a good motivation.
I was going to say that would motivate me. Especially if I know Daddy was headed up to Kansas or South Dakota or somewhere, and I wasn't going to get to go because I wasn't doing my schoolwork.
Yeah.
That would turn my tide.
Yeah, I mean, another reason I didn't travel on turkey hunts because I just be honest, I could when I was young, I had 3 kids and 3 young kids, but they're older now, and they think they're grown, but they're not. I got one that's 18, one that's 16, and Mac be 13 this year.
Oh, they all getting smarter than you.
That's right. Yeah. But you take 10 years off of that and put that on that age, and that's why I had to be at home all the time. Yeah. I couldn't go. I couldn't go gallivanting turkey hunting. I had to stay home, help my wife, and plus I do line work, like I say, and being on call, and wasn't making as good money as I am now either, so I was broke.
Yep. I'll tell you what.
That's the main factor in the traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, me and Dustin, that's what we do. I would just do what we can afford to do and get time to do. And
that's right.
It's easier for me than him because, all my kids are grown now. I mean, I got my oldest son's 34. So, the youngest girl's 24. Yeah. So, I got a little more expendable cash because I don't, kids are expensive. Y'all both know that.
Oh, it ain't no doubt. It ain't no doubt.
So,
I've heard a bunch of people say, man, it must be nice. And I've heard Dave Owens, it must, that people come to, talking to him, it must be nice.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, man, they just have no idea. They have no idea. It is nice to be able to do it. And it is, I thank the good Lord every day I'm healthy enough and, but the wear and tear on your brain and your body, after a 10, 15 day turkey trip for me. I'm 43 now. When I was 35, I could do that all year. But now, last year I really felt it, and I was 42. I turned 42 last year.
Give it 12 or 13 more years.
And I'm not saying I'm old, and I'm not calling nobody else old by no means. But 40 was a game changer for me.
Yeah.
And I've always heard that, and I was like, y'all crazy. 40 ain't it's just a number. And by God, I woke up one morning, I could have swore my wife hit me with a baseball bat all night.
Yeah, when you hurt worse when you get out of bed in the morning than you did when you went to bed, that's when you know it's happened.
And there ain't no reason for it.
No reason whatsoever. Because just like you said, you ain't sleeping on an old wore-out mattress and box springs like you did when you was 20-year-old and didn't have no money. You've got a pretty nice bed to sleep in. It ain't like, That's right. I do it every morning. I mean, I'm 59. I'll be 60 in May. And
I'm lucky enough. I make decent money. I ride in a decent truck now. It's way different. I used to ride in a raggedy truck.
Yep.
I'm being honest. We've had a nice house, but we haven't built a brand new house in 2018. And I mean, new bed, new couches. And I mean, that was 18. I was 38. I mean, I was pushing 40, but when I hit 40, it felt like I slept on a bag of rocks all night. But I guess that just comes with age.
That's why I don't drag a camper or a tent when we go turkey hunting. I'm just going to spend the money and get me a hotel. At least it's got a bed.
I'll be honest. Now, that's something I do skimp on. Me and Matt, we'll sleep in the truck anywhere.
Now you travel a lot more than me and Dustin travel.
Oh.
I mean, if I was buying hotel rooms for 9 or 10 states and all,
That's right.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Of course, we try to hunt us Airbnbs. We hunt a place up in Tennessee. We got an Airbnb. We found a great place in Kansas, and we'll go back there. We got to go back. Dustin didn't kill in Kansas, so it's just so hard now.
Man,
the turkey numbers are bad, and the draws bad. It's hard to draw. So
that's right. I actually, Kansas blew my mind the first time I went there. I had never been. Like I said, I hunted I hunted Mississippi and Illinois and Missouri just every year for probably 3 or 4 years until I was like, man, if I can do it, if I can kill them here, I can probably kill them somewhere else. And I was like, let me try Kansas. It's just the next state over. So I got me a tag, actually 2 tags. It's just, you could kill 2 turkeys. Actually, you could kill 3 turkeys when I first started hunting Kansas. I killed 2 the first morning I ever went. But I got out of the truck on a walk-in. I don't know if y'all familiar with that.
Oh, yeah, that's what we hunted when we was there.
They do have a lot of core ground, too. But I was actually on a walk-in property. And I think the property was about 300 acres. But I bet it wasn't but about, at the max, 50 trees on the whole place. And a buddy of mine had been out there, and he was like, man, you just go here and park here and sleep in your truck, and you wake up in the morning, you'll hear them. And he's like, there ain't many places for them to hide. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds good to me. Well, I kind of, you kind of want to believe them, but you don't.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm going to go get in there early, get up early, and get in there. That way I can find at least a pretty good sized tree to get by so I don't get busted out here in this wide open prairie. I get out of the truck at like 5:15. It's an hour before daylight. The turkeys are gobbling already. I said, what in the world are they gobbling at? In Mississippi, if a turkey gobbles that early, something's done spooked it. Something's going on. It ain't gobbling at dark.
Them Rios are different. They are truly a different breed, but they're a different turkey.
They are, and I just had never experienced that. I'd never hunted a Rio. I'd never hunted nothing but an Eastern, and a Mississippi Eastern or Missouri Eastern or Illinois. Now, I would say, and this is just my biased opinion, I would guess, a Southern, you get below Tennessee, and an Eastern turkey is different, and a lot different.
I think it's because, they were always hunted, even when they was nearly extinct. Mississippi and Alabama, they always had some turkey hunters, even in the darkest of days before the stocking started.
That's right.
I just,
I know how they've been hunted and how they get hunted now worse than they ever have, in my opinion.
Well, that's you're right. Pressure is on them here.
But we have more turkeys now. Well, not more than we did in the 2000s. Let me back up a little bit. But how do you say it? There's more turkey hunters now. And there are more turkeys now, but not as many as there used to be. I don't want to confuse nobody. But there's just, you got more turkey. I call them turkey chasers. There's a difference in a turkey chaser and a turkey hunter. There ain't nowhere near as many true turkey hunters as there used to be. There's a bunch of turkey chasers.
Well, them are the like and follower guys. That's what I call them. They just want to post something. And
I'll tell you what they'll do. They'll educate a turkey quick.
Oh, yeah.
And educated.
You can go to any management area in Alabama that's got turkeys, and you'll know why you can't hardly kill them on a management area here, because all them people out there squawking and carrying on.
Tell people all the time, you better kill them around here about the first week. If you don't, you're in for a treat.
You better be a turkey hunter, because you're going to be hunting them.
You better strap your boots up tight, that's all I can tell you. Because when I tell you I walk 13 to 15 miles, it's for a reason. To get away from all the hooping and the howling and I ain't never heard nothing sound like a safari park some morning.
You said that, it brought us up. I bought a little 40-acre tract down in Dallas County. Me and my brother went down there Easter weekend. And it's still, National Forest borders me on 2 sides. That's one of the reasons I bought it. Because I got, 20,000 acres behind me. Then that's the southern part of Talladega. Talladega National Forest, you hunted, I call it the east part of the forest, and this is kind of the southwest part of the forest. It's broke up, And
that's right.
Anyway, season, and I don't agree with it, but in Alabama, public comes in, is it a week or 10 days before? I mean, private comes in earlier than public. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think it's right. So we're out there on my place because I'm telling him, I said, even if, and I've got a good bit of hardwoods and good roosting, and I've been seeing sign a turkey and getting some pictures, from a camera. And so I knew there's some turkeys around. I figured we'd have to call them off the forest. Man, there was some boys over there. They were owl hooting and crow calling, and then they started hollering back and forth at each other. And they was on the forest. They wasn't even supposed to be over there hunting. And my brother, he looked at me, he said, "What the hell is that?" I said, "That's why we ain't going to kill no turkeys today or probably the rest of the season here." Well, we ended up, I got him one. We killed one down there. That was enough. But, yeah, they get educated quick, especially if you ain't far off the road. So,
yeah. Well, I ain't knocking nobody. You got to learn somewhere, but.
Yeah, but
that's just something,
Wes, I don't, and I know y'all are younger than me. These young hunters now, and we're going to ask some questions. Maybe you can help young hunters, pointers, that kind of thing. But with YouTube and all of these Facebook hunting pages, man, nobody would tell me nothing in 1990.
Oh, no.
They were tight-lipped.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean,
oh, yeah.
My dad didn't turkey hunt or deer hunt. I had to learn all this on my own. But nowadays, these boys, now you might get a few of those, idiots. I have to run them off that turkey page I run every day, but they want to be smart aleck your stuff. But you can learn. And YouTube, my God, Dave Owens, just watch some of his videos. He tells you everything.
Oh, yeah. And I mean and it's timed. So you could watch him even to the sequence of how he's calling, and even all that matters. A lot of people don't pay attention to that, and a lot of people don't. It's natural to me. And that's something that young hunters don't have now, is because they're jumping into it so fast. They never had anybody teach them, not just turkey hunting, but sportsmanship, hunter etiquette. Just be a true outdoorsman, a woodsman. And I'll tell anybody, my calling is nowhere near no Dave Owens. Any professional caller could outcall me, and hands down, I don't consider myself a great caller at all. And I don't try to be. I just try to kill turkeys.
Yep.
But my woodsmanship and being able to move in the woods, to me, and that's just me.
I think that's 90% of it. Being able to.
I kill.
Well, go ahead.
I mean, that has killed more turkeys for me. Just knowing where to be, knowing where the turkeys want to be, especially on ground I'm familiar with. Now, everything goes out the window when you go to a new state.
And let's talk about that. Let's say you going to go to a state, and we put any state you've never been to, but you said, I'm going there this year. What do you do? What's the first thing? You got your tags, you got your license. You're going to hunt some public land or what, even if it's private land. But I mean, what do you do? How do you go about it? I mean, I know what me and Dustin do, but
if usually I've thought about it before I've left. If I leave home and I'm going to just say Missouri, I'm going to hunt my way through the state. I don't know, if I'm traveling. Now, if I'm just going to hunt Missouri, I'm going to hunt Missouri, and that's all I'm going to focus on. But if I know I got, just say, 10 days to hunt, and I'm planning on going to all the way, I have it in my head, 3 or 4 states. Well, I'll pick those states out, during the year, and I've been thinking about it all year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be looking on my maps, which, like I say, I do line work. We have to use maps at work all the time. So I'm pretty good at nitpicking an aerial map. I mean, I'm not saying that's probably my best advantage in turkey hunting to me, is I can look at a map and just pick it apart, an aerial map. Onyx, or
Yeah.
whether it's just Google. I mean, even just a Google map. But that's what I do. I got an iPad, and I'll sit there and I'll just, all right, if I was going to go kill a turkey in this WMA or this walk-in or this private ground, what am I looking for? What do turkeys want? They like roosting over water. They like roosting over, a ravine, and they got to have something to eat. So that's what I'm looking for. But a turkey will eat near about any kind of bug, seed. I've found, man, unbelievable stuff in turkeys crawl. But
Oh yeah. Yeah.
the food part of it is not as important to me as the water and the cover. The habitat has to be turkey livable, I guess. Where turkeys want to be. Now, I will say, once you get out west past the Missouri, Kansas area, the trees are scarce, which I know y'all have been out there. Some parts of some states don't have many, many trees at all. Nebraska just is one of them.
You tough to find you ain't gonna find no big giant oak to lay up against. Not out there.
No, it's gonna be cottonwood bottoms and cottonwood, little hedgerows is what I call them.
Heck, we hunted with a place in Nebraska. We hunted was all cedar. Everywhere we went.
Yeah.
So.
It's a lot. Cedar out there is invasive.
Yeah, yeah.
They hate them. They'll try to kill them off, and a lot of places are killing them off. But man, just knowing where turkeys want to be, really, that comes back to having woodsmanship and being an outdoorsman. Reading sign. If I go to a place, I don't, even if I go deer hunting or if we go on vacation or anything, I'm looking for some kind of sign if I'm going somewhere. If I'm walking if we go on vacation somewhere, I try to plan it to where I can look for turkey sign, I can look for deer sign, something that's just something that interests me. So, my wife and them want to go shopping, me and Matt, we'll go scout for turkeys. Just started that way, and to be the first time I ever went, I just went in blind, and I totally blind, and that was a learning curve. It took me, I don't know, the first, I guess first out of state turkey would have been, Illinois on that lease, but the first public land would have been Missouri, and at that time, Missouri was covered up in turkeys. It's nowhere near like it used to be. But I just got out of the truck, really, and heard a turkey. And I was like, well, there's turkeys here, so I can kill one. And went after it. And then, I tell you what, the first time I ever went to Nebraska, because, I didn't know where to go, anything like that. And that was, Onyx was new. I had a map on my phone, and I had a little paper map so you could get, at the little check stations and all that. That's what I used to go by. But Nebraska whooped my tail the first time I went there, and I hate to say that because now to me it's one of the easiest states, in my opinion, to kill a turkey. But
you was like us, so we didn't know what we was doing. I didn't know how to hunt them in Nebraska.
Well, in some sense, everybody's going to be that way. You just got to be brave enough to do it and brave enough to fail, because the only way you're going to get better is to not succeed, because that's going to make you want to be better, in my opinion.
Dang, I ought to be the best by now, as much as I've done it. Failed.
Man, I tell you what, you won't ever hear me say that, because there's been years that I thought, man, this can't get no better. And then the next year rolls around, and here it is, the middle of April, and you ain't killed a turkey, and you're like, I'm not nowhere near as good as I thought I was.
I know, and I even told Dustin this. I said I'm due this year. I've had two really good years in a row. I don't usually get two good. I usually follow one great year by a mediocre or bad year. But after the last 2 years, well, me and Dustin both, we've had pretty good years. And
yeah,
so
that's the way. with me, ever since Mac's been going with me, I focus. I want to get him a turkey first. If he misses one, or that's hard on a kid, especially when you're out of state. The first time it happened, we were in Nebraska. Matter of fact, I had killed there before, so it was not a big deal for me. And I was like, look, we'll get another one. I said, we'll go find another one. Man, I bet I called up. I think before he killed one, I called up 18 different jakes, and I'm not talking about in a group.
Yeah,
I mean 18 different turkeys, 18 different hunts. I believe we had. It's funny because he laughs about it now. He's like, "You remember all them jakes you called up?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember them one after another." We'd move, go to a different spot, go to a different walk-in, go to a different WMA, go to a different core. And I mean, it was just Jake after Jake after Jake. And I was like, my wife was with me on that trip. I said, I don't know if Nebraska has another longbeard, to be honest. And I was making sure, I know, I was experienced enough at this time to realize, all Merriams and Rios, sometimes they don't have the longest beards. So a lot of times you need to look at their fan or their wings, see if they have full wings and fan. Anyway, every one of them, I'd make them strut, or I'd get them, half strut where I could see their fan. And I mean, every one of them were Jakes. And I was like, I don't know if there's another gobbler left. And don't get me wrong, this was 2 years ago, 2023. This is a year that was 2 years ago. But be 3 seasons ago now, I guess. But finally, we connected the dots and got him one, but ended up, the reason he missed the turkey, he shoots a Stevens single shot 20 gauge. And at that time, I had my Frankie with me and my wife's TriStar and another single shot, which was a 410. But he dropped his gun and failed to tell me. And he's got a red dot because for a kid, in my opinion, that's the best thing ever made for a kid because they can just put the dot on his head and pull the trigger.
That's the best thing ever made for this old man.
The red dot changed it gave me more confidence than I had ever had. I was old school, shoot a bead to, shoot a bead, shoot a bead, shoot a bead, shoot a bead. That was just beat in my head because the guys I learned from were old school turkey hunters, and that's all they ever had. And they were dead set on, you can kill them with this. You don't need that. You can kill them with this. You don't need that. Just like the lead versus the tungsten. There's still guys that I have more respect for than, they're turkey hunters. They were turkey hunters way before I was, and they taught me more than I can ever repay them for. Because like you were talking about, a lot of people in Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, all the southern states, they'd rather tell you something about their wife than they had to tell you about a turkey.
You're right.
They're not just going to give you information about killing a turkey or where to or how to or when. It's not going to happen. Matter of fact, they're probably going to tell you the opposite. That was beat in my head. Don't shoot no red dots. You don't need all that fancy. You don't need that. And I was like, okay, well, I don't need it. Well, I'm actually going to tell the truth. I have missed 4 turkeys my whole hunting since I was 23 or 24, whenever I started just absolutely turkey hunting. I have missed 4 turkeys. And 3 of them was with a bead, and 1 of them was with a red dot. But I'm not saying this, neither's no better, but that red dot just gave me way more confidence in killing turkeys because I know I can turn that gun upside down. As long as that red dot is on his head, when I pull the trigger, he's dead.
100%. I'm right there with you.
The reason I missed the turkey that I did with the red dot was because I was impatient and tried to shoot through some bushes. Not not like I couldn't see the turkey, but the turkey went through a little thick spot, and he hung up. And I knew, when them turkeys hang up down here, you about ain't gonna get no. You don't have long. He tucked them wings. I knew it was supposed to be over with. And I just decided, I was like, well, I'm shooting a 12 gauge. He's 40 yards. I believe I can, weasel 3 or 4 pellets through that. And I gambled, and that's why, I didn't even, it didn't even knock a feather out of him. So that was my fault. It was not the gun or the red dot's fault. But before that, another buddy of mine had a red dot on his gun. He was like, man, you're going to have to stop shooting that. I was shooting rifle sights at this time. They had come out with the True Glow rifle sights. And I had that on my 12 gauge. And he said, man, look down your barrel. He said, cock your head sideways and see what that sight does. And I moved my head to the left a little bit where my sight moved, my line of sight moved. And I said, dang. I said, if you ain't holding it just straight down the barrel, chin down, everything on the barrel, I said, you're off the target by a foot. He was like, yeah. He was like, now turn that red dot on and do the same thing. Man, I can move my head anywhere I wanted to. That dot stayed right there. And I said, well, I'll be dang. I like it. He said, turn that shotgun sideways and shoot at that target. So I did. I turned it all the way sideways, put the red dot on there, boom, and it hit right where I was aiming. And I said, well, I got to have one of these. Yep. And I went the next day and I bought a Burris Fast Fire 3, and I have not shot. That's all I shoot on my guns because that's what he shot, and that's just what I shoot.
Well, that's
what I believe in.
I shot a different one, but I moved to the Fast Fire. Dustin got me on the Fast Fire 3, and I'll never change.
And I'm not, I'm not promoting. I had the first one I bought it from a pawn shop. I think it was, I don't know, at this time they were like $250 online, and I gave like $200 for this one. It was actually on a pistol. And I said, well, y'all sell that sight off that pistol? And she was like, yeah. I know the local pawn shop. It's a woman that owns it. And, I know them she knows me by name. And I buy my shells there. I buy, just about anything. Gun related or hunting related. It's kind of like a hunting store too. But anyway, she said, yeah, if you want it. She was like, somebody, sold it or pawned it or whatever. And I said, yeah, I'd like to have it. I said, I don't need that. It had some kind of different pistol mount or something. So I had, I finally found me a mount that would work and put it on my shotgun. And man, since then, now I shoot a some toy mount, which 90% of people I know, that's what they shoot. It's just a low profile mount.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I'm having done on. I shoot a Franke too, and it's a pistol grip, the Affinity 3, but it came with the fiber optics on it, so I couldn't put the low profile mount on there. I had to put a rail, with a little picture rail thing. So it sets up high.
You say that. It's funny that you say that because that's the same exact gun I have. It's the Turkey Edition Franke.
Well, that's what this is, and
I actually
guess where that barrel left UPS today. Go to William at Some Toy. He's going to cut the barrel. I told him, I said, whatever you think, 18, 20, because it's 26, I think, so what the barrel length is.
That's right.
And go ahead and work the barrel. And of course, I'll lose that front sight because he's cutting the barrel. And he said, I'll machine that rear side off. And I said, that'll work for me. Now, whether I'll get it back, he got on me because he's done. I don't know. Everybody I know that turkey hunts that want something right, they'll tell you Some Toy. Dustin told me Some Toy. I got a buddy in Huntsville. He's Some Toy. You're Some Toy. Everybody, and it's Some Toy. And it's just tells you the quality that William and them turn out. But
that's right. That's right.
He got on me. He said, "Well, see, I ordered a dang barrel. I bought another barrel. I've been waiting a year for them to get back in stock. And all I was going to do is order this vented rib barrel and cut it and put it on that gun. And he talked me out of it. He said, you don't want to cut that new barrel like that. Just send me this other barrel. Let me cut it. He said, you ain't never going to use it again. Chances are you won't even be able to sell it. And so that barrel come in last night. I took it out of the box, took my old barrel off, and it was at the UPS store this morning. I talked to, I can't remember his wife's name. Anyway, I talked to her because she said, I was trying to get an idea what it's going to cost me. And she said, well, he won't, until he opens your box, he don't want to know what all you want done anyway. She said, I just hope you don't want it fast. I said, yeah, me and him done talked about that. I said, he could have had that last June. I would have sent it to him in June if I'd known I was going to do that. And, but I don't know if you keep up with them much, but he's had some family issues, and
I actually seen his post today.
Yeah, me and him was talking yesterday, and, his dad passed away. Now I think that's done a lot. It's affected him. And he's got a young family too.
Go ahead.
No, I said he's just got So he just said he wasn't going
to. That's another thing like people don't see.
Go ahead.
That's another thing that people don't see is all turkey hunters that travel and hunt. We got families. If something happens, we go home. That's family first. I love the turkey hunt, but my family, if something happens, and I'm not here, I'm coming home. My wife, she knows. But in 2022, I got a call from my mother, and she knows, I turkey hunt. I was on my way home from turkey hunting, and told me she had cancer, and that slowed me down traveling, for that year for sure. And I'm just now, she passed in 2022, that year. That was 21 when she called me.
Sorry to hear that.
But a year later, actually April the 5th, my sister's birthday, she passed. And man, I tell you what, that knocked the wind out of my sail because I grew up with, she was single parent. That was my mama and my daddy. She was the first person that ever put me in the woods. I was 12 years old. She stuck me out there on a stump. I was deer hunting. She didn't know nothing about it, but she knew I wanted to, so she took me, bought me a gun. My granddaddy taught me how to shoot. Taught me, don't point the gun at nothing you don't want to shoot. Don't ever point it towards nobody. Keep the barrel to the ground or in the air. And that's I always would call her. It don't matter what. If I killed a turkey, if I killed 10 squirrels, if I killed 5 rabbits, or the biggest deer I ever killed in my life, I'd call my mama. And I'd tell her, hey, killed a big old deer this afternoon. And then I'd send her a picture of it. Well, after 22, I'd go hunting, and I was like, dang, can't call mama. I can't tell her what I was calling to, it was just instinct. I always done it from when I was a kid. We didn't have no cell phones or nothing, but I'd go to, if I was hunting at my granddaddy's or my mom, uncle, anywhere, I'd go to the phone. I'd call mama, hey, I killed 8-point, or me and Papa killed 10 squirrels this afternoon. And, you could just tell, she was excited. She knew I loved to hunt, knew I loved to hunt and fish and be outside, and always have. And that was just something, that she related to me with, and I always called her. And people don't realize, man, when they're gone, they're gone. It ain't no,
right,
I know, I know she's in a much better place than she was by far, because, man, if nobody's ever dealt with cancer or family member with that, that's a bad deal. And like I said, that slowed me down that year. And actually, my son Mac, which he hunts with me, if I'm hunting and he's with me. But, he was like, Daddy, let's go, we're going to go turkey hunting. I was like, yeah. And we did. We turkey hunted around here, and we actually, the only state we went to we went to 2 states. We went to Kansas and Missouri, and that was before the draw.
Mm-hmm.
I think that started last year. Yeah. I may be wrong.
I think it did.
And he had never killed a Rio. And I was like, well, I know where we can go and get one. And we did. We went up there, and we were there, I don't know, 2 hours. He done, man, beautiful Rio. And I said, well, I bet your baby's smiling. And he just grinned, and that's what he called my mama.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, yeah, Mr. Sumtoy, I mean, one of the best fellas you'll ever meet. Heck of a nice guy. Preston, that does all my gun work, that's all, he does all Sumtoy mounts. He actually does Meadow Creek too, but I don't like a ribbed barrel. That's just my preference.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. I do not like a ribbed barrel for turkey hunting. Now, for dove or anything like that.
Everybody, we're going to just stop it right here. I knew this was going to be a 2-part episode, and I hope you've been enjoying it as much as we have. Wes is a wealth of knowledge. He's a true turkey killer. So what we're going to do is just pause it here. So come back next week and hear the last half of this. I know you're going to pick up some good tips, learn a few things. I know I have. I want to tell you we appreciate every one of you listening. If you would, share us with a friend. Go out on your favorite podcast platform like Apple, Spotify. Please rate us. Give us a 5-star review, and leave a comment if you'd like. It sure helps us trying to get the word out on the show. Well, that being said, we will see you guys in a week.